In this lesson, we will create data visualizations. And the first visualization we are going to create is about the journalist killings across the world. And for that, we have used the database from kaggle.com. I hope in the previous exercise, you had been successful in loading your data into Elasticsearch. If you are facing any issues with that, you can go ahead and use the code sample provided in the course. Once your dataset is loaded into Elasticsearch, you should see an index created called mortality, and it will have around 1700 documents in it. Let's take a look at this index and the data in it. Okay, click on mortality. In this data, you can see we have a date column which is in a month, day, and year format. We also have a name of the journalist, gender, the country where this journalist was killed, the organization he belongs to, nationality, and some other information about that journalist and his organization. Okay, using this data set, we are going to answer our first question, which is we want to know which country had the maximum number of journalist killings around the world in last 5 years, and we want to plot that into Kibana. Okay, and for this purpose, we will create an histogram chart. So let's start Kibana. Okay, on Kibana, click on settings, right? And here you need to specify the name of your index. In our case, it is mortality. And the next field is time field. Okay, and this date in our case. So it has already picked it up. And let's click on create. Now Kibana has loaded the data information from Elasticsearch into its own memory. And here you can see all the fields it has identified from the index. Okay. Once you have this, it means your data is ready. Let's go to discover and select mortality. So on this page, you can see that Kibana has loaded the data and it has also plotted it on a time series. But as of now, it doesn't tell us which country has the maximum number of killings. It is just showing all the killings happened in that particular year. So let's create our own visualization. Okay, so click on visualize, and the first item is to create a new visualization, and here we are going to use vertical bar charts. Okay, and we want from a new search, and the index will be mortality. All right, so as of now it is plotting all the data. Okay, so let's create the chart. So first item is y-axis, which is this axis, and here we want to show the count. So this one is okay. On the x-axis, we first need to create an aggregation. Okay, so click on x-axis and take a date histogram, and the field will be date, and the interval we want is yearly. Okay, so let's plot this first. Okay, let's see what happens. So here you can see we got similar screen as we had seen on the discover page. Okay, so it is plotting all the killings happened in that particular year. Okay, now let's split this information according to the country where it happened. Okay, and we can do that by adding a sub bucket, and here we want to add split bars. Now sub aggregation will be based on terms, and the term we are using is country killed. Okay, country killed. Okay, and we want top 5 countries, and we want everything to be ordered by the count. Okay, now let's run this. There you go. As you can see, we got the information about each of the country for each of the year when that happened. Okay, and you can see the most killings happened in Syria. If you hover over it, you can see 37 killings happened in last 5 years in Syria, And here also in the legend you can see Syria at the top. Next is the Somalia, and there you can see how many killings happened, like 14, and it has reduced over the years, which is good. Okay. Also, we need to make sure when we are plotting the information, then we specify the date range properly. Okay. The way it works in Kibana is, so over right hand side of the Kibana screen you will see the date range. Okay, click here. So here it shows how much should be the date range it should consider while plotting the charts in your data set. Okay, so here we have selected last 5 years. Okay, if you change this, then the chart will also change accordingly. Okay, so now you can see it's only for 2016. All right, so this shows you how to create your own visualizations, and as you have seen, it is very simple to do. You can also save your visualizations. Click over here and then give it a name. So let's name it as mortality in last 5 years. Okay, and save. Or let's say mortality count worldwide in last 5 years. Okay, and save this. So now your visualization is saved and you can use it later, and I will show you how to make use of it. Okay, all right, try it out on your end, and we will create one more chart before we can create the dashboards. I'll see you in the next class.